kidding, right? You cannot be serious!
There's more! It was awful! I'm back! CGI shit!
I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible!
Good. Just you guys there. There you go. Oh, shit. That's too much. Alright, I finally saw it. Oh, man. I guess Crystal Pepsi is back, by the way. I am so happy. Hey, guys. It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to another opening night. And this is one you've all been waiting for. You all have been asking me, BigJackFilms, Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic World Dominion. You're gonna like it, you're gonna hate it, it's gonna suck, it's gonna be good, you're gonna be entertained, you gotta do a review, you gotta do legacy reviews. It's coming, okay? It's coming next year. But I did finally see Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic Park 6, Return of the Jedi, Return of the Grant Eye, whatever, Return of the Ellie, Return of the right. I'm just gonna be up front with this. So let me just go through the entirety of the franchise thus far. If you guys have not seen my Jurassic Park Legacy reviews, link down below to a playlist. Please check them out. They were a lot of fun put together. My opinion on most of them have not changed, except for maybe like one or two. But let me just go over the whole thing as a whole. So I have read the books by Michael Crichton, which, god damn it, he doesn't get much credit for any of this. It's all Spielberg, and it's so kind of disheartening for the poor guy. The camera is showing my green screen. I don't want that. So, the first film is a classic. It's one of my favorite movies. It's my number 5 favorite film. Love it. The filmmaking, the craftsmanship, everything put together. It changed cinema forever. It's a masterpiece. It's wonderful. It's awesome. I love the first Jurassic Park. Never gets old. The music never gets old. The effects, everything. So there's that. The Lost World people hate, but I think is probably out of all the sequels still the best one. It's not the book Lost World. It's more Arthur Conan Doyle's Lost World with a lot of King Kong. This is just Spielberg saying, I'm gonna make a King Kong movie. Even though Jurassic Park was his King Kong, he just said, fuck it, I'm making it, where they bring the T-Rex to the mainland, it wrecks the city, and there's jungle adventures, and the music's very Max Steiner. So it's a King Kong movie with just dinosaurs and no giant gorilla. So I do like The Lost World. I really do. I watched it again. I loved it. It's still a fun movie. It's a fun jungle movie. Jurassic Park 3, I have actually had very flipped opinions on. For the longest time, pre-2018, I hated this movie. I hated it. It was terrible. It butchered so much. It destroyed so much that we really cared about. You know, Grant and Sattler are split off. The T-Rex dies. There's new dinosaurs that don't explain anything, and oh, it's just but I will say, after one certain film in the franchise, it has made me go back and apologize to that film and look at it in a much brighter light. And I look at it as just a fun little side dinosaur adventure fun raffle time at the movies. Like, it's a popcorn movie. It's got dinosaurs, there's kills, there's jungle adventures. Same thing as, it's a shorter, condensed version of The Lost World, but less impactful is the only problem with it. It still keeps to the tone of the first two films. Jurassic World, I still really like. I still think that is still one of the better sequels next to Lost World. It's a little bit familiar. It's kind of the start of the whole nostalgia phase that Hollywood went through for a couple of years that we're kind of starting to get out of a little bit. And I liked it. I thought, like, the finale, the climax was awesome. The action scenes are great. They were really entertaining. Too much CGI, yes, but overall, fun movie. Really fun movie. Fallen Kingdom, wow, what a waste. What a way to butcher a creative filmmaker's vision because of Hollywood politics. Let's just be honest right up front. J.A. Bayona is a good director. I will just say that. He is a great director. I thought he was perfect. He captured some horror elements. He captured some great action scenes. Only problem, his vision was completely butchered by the studio. They cut so much out, reshot so much shit. Why? To sell toys, which are good toys, don't get me wrong, but also because, yeah, we have an evil annoying orange dictator as our ruler of the world, and we need to make a bunch of World War II propaganda cartoons with all of our billion-dollar franchises, so Fallen Kingdom's a butchered, great movie, butchered for an anti-Trump film. It's just trash. It is the weakest sequel of the franchise, and it raised so many questions that were unanswered, and it demolished so much world building. It was a disaster because the studio just interfered so goddamn much with it, and it didn't have an identity. It lost its identity. And it's nothing against the filmmakers. It's nothing against Bayona. It's nothing against the cast or anything. They had a good movie, but it was destroyed by Hollywood politics. I'm sorry. I don't want to get political, but that's what the ultimate outcome was. That sucks. Y'all want to bitch and hashtag release the Snyder cut, release the Arrow cut, release the Schumacher cut? Fuck that. Give me the J.A. Bayona cut. Hashtag release the J.A. Bayona cut. Start that right now. There is stuff in that movie missing that would probably make it better. And also, crop it to the same format as the other movies. Like, that's my only thing. So, Dominion. The trailers came out. I was actually okay with it. It was like, okay, we're doing Planet of the Dinosaurs, even though that's a great stop-motion movie from the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Check that out. It's awesome. Riff Tracks did a whole thing on it. And when I was kind of wanting to see it, I did want to see this. I mean, Colin Trevorrow, who directed the fourth one, is back. And, obviously, it looked pretty entertaining. But then the reviews came out, and it got butchered. And I was like, oh no, I was hearing things like, it's Rise of Skywalker bad. It's the worst thing in the franchise. It's the same shit over and over again, and nothing's done with it. It's stuck. It can't go forward. It doesn't meet expectations. The dinosaur planet apocalypse is not even the plot. People were saying this is the Batman and Robin of the franchise, and ironically, it comes out 25 years after Batman and Robin. People were saying, oh, it's not Planet of the Apes or Planet of the Dinosaurs. It's Exorcist 2, The Heretic, because there's a plot point that's terrible and it involves things from Exorcist 2. Oh, God, it's a piece of shit. It's awful. It ruined it. They blew it. They got rid of it. It was awful. There's no going back. I actually didn't hate it. I kind of liked it. I'm sorry for liking a thing that everybody despises and wants destroyed. Oh, I'm sorry. This was, fun. I had fun. I'm as shocked as you are, because I went in, to quote Mr. Plinkett at the start of the episode 3 review, I'm just going to quote him right now. how bad is it, do you ask? Well, shit, I guess your expectations are so low they're right next to fucking dinosaur bones. We just went in to get it over with. It was like an obligation, like going to your stupid daughter's graduation. You know it's gonna suck, but you just gotta do it to get it over with. Oh, fuck that metaphor, it's like an autopsy. That's how low my expectations were. I went into the theater, bought a popcorn, bought a hot dog. Why not? I haven't had a hot dog in a while. And I just sat there, and I will admit, before seeing the movie, there were actually a couple of kids who knew who I was, so kudos to those guys. They just subscribed. They're like, oh, we know who you are. I'm like, oh, thank you. Their dad was really nice, too. So, there I am. I sit in my normal seat, popcorn in hand, and yes, I did bring Crystal Pepsi with me. I'm sorry, it's back. This episode is not sponsored by Crystal Pepsi, by the way. So, I went in, and I just was watching the previews and shit, and I was just sitting there like, alright, let's get this over with. This is gonna suck. This is gonna be a piece of shit movie. And as I was watching it, my expectations were so low, I could kind of get used to it. And I came out entertained. It's okay, so it's not good, and it's not horrible. I didn't like it, and I didn't hate it. And to be honest, just enjoying it for what it is better than nothing. Do I wish this was a proper finale with big, dark elements where everything's gone to shit? Yeah, I wish we did get that. But because they were limited on both a budget, this was surprisingly cheaper than the last one. The last one was $185 million. This cost apparently $160 million. And again, expectations low. And they just went for what they had to work with, because it was not just the lower budget. Then you had the pandemic shut this down, like, completely halfway through production. There were obviously some rewrites that kind of... There is a subtle way of saying, like, the dinosaurs are the replacement for the pandemic and how we deal with it, which, to be fair, I'd rather take my chances with dinosaurs than a virus, because at least then you could still go outside and hang out with people. Dinosaurs are just an inconvenience, and at least you can kind of they won't get you sick and you won't die, you'll just probably get eaten. But, so, it's one of those things where, like, there was a lot against this movie, and they tried, and for what they tried, it's a B movie. It's the best way I can describe this movie is it's a big, giant 80s Saturday morning cartoon with dinosaurs. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's a G.I. Joe movie. Like, literally, the bad guys can literally be working for Cobra. Like, basically, they present Cobra with genetically modified dinosaurs. You just want the bad guys to go, Cobra! Like, it feels like a G.I. Joe movie. Like, Retaliation almost. Like, Retaliation is almost on this level. It's bad, but it's entertaining. Like, it's still, like, it's a good kind of time and a half off you can just enjoy. So, it's a G.I. Joe movie. It's a Dino Riders movie. That's clearly what they've been aiming for since Part 4. And it's also a Disney afternoon cartoon. And what I mean by that is, like, there's a couple of new characters in this. Some of the characters from Fallen Kingdom are just shafted from the beginning. They do pull a Rose Tico from Rise of Skywalker. There is a bit of Rise of Skywalker in this. There is a somehow Palpatine return moment involves the villain, which, by the way, this does contain spoilers. Guess who the bad guy is? And I kind of knew it was coming, because I saw a leak of this thing, a plot leak of this, like, a year ago. It's just the meme. Dachshund! We got Dachshund here! See, nobody cares. Nice hat. And I'll get to him in a sec, but the thing is that it's just, the villain it's that, but one of the best characters in this movie is the pilot. There's a pilot here who everybody was like, oh god, it's gonna be woke, it's gonna be terrible. I kind of like this character because she had a personality, she had a goal, she was cool, and also, she's Launchpad McQuack from DuckTales. This is a big Saturday morning Disney afternoon cartoon. It's like DuckTales and Tailspin. Like, when they're flying around that junky plane, you just want to cut to Launchpad going, oh, this is a problem, Mr. McD. We got some quackers flying all over, some pterodactyls and shit. And you want to just play, oh, yay, Tailspin. It's a big DuckTales movie. It's a big DuckTales cartoon with dinosaurs. loved it for that. So, but anyway, characters. Owen and Claire are about the same. They're raising Maisie, and Maisie's captured along with Blue's baby, Beta, who, by the way, Blue is not much in this movie, and there's not really much. There's new raptors, but again, just go with it. Who are captured and brought to Biosyn, the rival company for InGen, who turned out were the masterminds of all 6 films to make everything go wrong so they could literally take over the world. Their idea is to destroy the world's population of grain to cause human mass extinction so that everybody can bow before them as gods with their grain and take over the world. That's their plan. Again, it's Cobra shit. It's ecological Cobra shit. It's so dumb, but you can kind of go with it. So, the characters are just about the same, but I will admit, people always say with these monster movies, oh, quit cutting away to the humans, they're boring, they're stupid, focus on the big CGI monsters, but unlike something like Godzilla 2014, where you can't eat, they cut away to the monsters, you can't fucking see anything, I can't see anything! This one, at least you can not only see the dinosaurs when they're doing cool shit, aside from one issue I'll take later, but also, the characters, the chemistry, not bad. Like, it's well written, it's entertaining, it's fun. The jokes land. I was laughing a few times in this movie. The quirky dialogue, it kind of worked for this. Like, the interactions between the old cast and the new cast, which Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are back, and they interact with they fuse with the new characters about the third act of the film, it's fun. And you get to see them talk off each other, and it works. Like, it's brief. Do I wish there was more of that, where it was more deep and impactful? Yeah. But it works. It's just fun. Like, you have Owen and Grant, who are, like, they're the best chemistry, and they're like, oh, hey, Alan Grant, I read your book on tape, and Grant's like, oh, you're Owen, you're the guy who trained raptors, you're fucking nuts. Like, that works off each other. So, it's very much like a Marvel movie, where it's like the 2 teams of heroes, where they team up and meet up and kind of work off each other. That's actually pretty cool. So the characters are actually not bad. The action scenes. Okay, so the action scenes, I have one major issue. The editing is terrible, and Colin Trevorrow cannot direct action. I'm sorry, he's a great director and everything else, but, like, in terms of just, action sequences, he can't direct for shit. Because, guess what? It's like a generic action movie where the editing's atrocious, and half the shots in these action scenes gave me a headache. Why? Because it's constantly this. It's constantly this as they're running through, getting away from dinosaurs. It's all a bunch of shaky cam shit, and I can't see what the fuck is going on. I can't see anything. Like, it's giving me a headache. It's just all blurry and shit, running and all in close up and super close up. It's like, can you keep the camera fucking still? Like, I'll give actually a positive to Fallen Kingdom. J.A. Bayona knows, like, how to keep the camera still and focus on the whole scope of it. He can focus on it. Maybe that's why it was so expensive. He was able to actually direct something that actually looked good. So, poor Colin can't direct action. That's the one part about Episode 9 I'm glad he didn't do. Because imagine the action scenes in Episode 9, if he directed it, it would have been awful. It would have been garbage. I'm sorry, Colin, you're a good director and everything else, you just needed somebody to direct action. So, that part bugged me. And the editing in some areas was pretty bad. There were a lot of too many quick cuts. And, again, a positive to this movie compared to the other films. Animatronics. And unlike the other films, they don't CG over them. They don't at all. They're all practical in front of the camera. And I was like, wow, real dinosaurs. They're actually there. I can kind of believe what's going on. Maybe that's why it worked, because I wasn't distracted that, oh, it's just a big CG thing, green blob they painted over. No, it's an actual puppet. And the puppets look great. Like the Giganotosaurus, that shit was cool. That was right out of the first film. There's all these little tiny dinosaurs that are adorable and shit. There's real effort in the animatronics. Like, the only areas they kind of cheapened out, I will admit, they cheapened out on the T-Rex. The T-Rex is back to full CGI, and Blue is all CGI. But, like, Beta's a puppet. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I can actually, the mix was pretty good on those two. So that's the only thing I was kind of having issues with, is that I wish some of the original dinosaur characters were puppets and animatronics, but the animatronics in here were pretty impressive. I was surprised. I was really surprised how many animatronics were utilized, and they weren't CG'd over like a George Lucas special edition. So, props to you guys. You finally gave us animatronics again, and it looked great. And it matched so seamlessly with the CGI, so good for you guys. So, yeah, like, there is some problems. Like, again, the shaky cam's a problem. The editing's a little bit bad. It feels a little too quick. There is a few pauses, but there's a lot of cutaways and stuff like that. I will admit the score sucks. That is my only problem. I think, and you start to notice this with a lot of IPs involving John Williams. You ever notice since Rise of Skywalker that studios don't really rely on John Williams music anymore? Like, a lot of the scores to these IPs that involve John Williams themes, they just never utilize them. And I'm gonna guess because I think John Williams got screwed over so bad by Rise of Skywalker that he said, y'all ain't gonna use my music anymore unless you pay me big money. And so when they use the themes to Jurassic Park, it is a little better here than in Fallen Kingdom. Like, you still hear, you know, the bum, 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 and, you know, occasionally a little doo-doo-doo, but then, like, you know, you do get the whole da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, they're in there. But I feel like this film needed more main original stuff from, like, John Williams, basically.
What the hell? What now? Sensors are failing all over the park.
Fine, Landry. Check the vending machines.
Sorry, the battery died. Battery died on my camera, surprisingly. So, what was it about? Okay, so the score. It needed themes from the original movie. Something I wish they could have kind of hinted and used a bit more was, not only the main Predator theme from the first one, where it's like, ba-da-da-dum. I wish they kind of used it, but not enough to signify it. But one thing I wish they did utilize is the theme to when Dennis Nedry steals the embryos. Because for me, yeah, it's Dennis stealing the embryos. It's a ripoff of the music Williams used from JFK. But I do like that whole, you know, it's like, do. I think I would have actually brought it full circle, where you have Dachshund, who was friends with Dennis Nedry, and that would have been the Biosyn theme, where it's like, ba-da-da-dum. You know, where it's like, it would have just had more impact on why that thing with Nedry was important, because, the Barbasol can is in here for no fucking reason, and how Dobson got it is another matter, unless that Jurassic Park Telltale game is canon. I don't know. But the thing is that, yeah, it's like, why is the can here? Was there actual still utilized genetic stuff in there? It kind of feels like when Dachshund is taking the can, he's kind of remembering, my friend Nedry. No mention of Nedry, by the way. What a disappointment. What a way to not even include in, like, the little codes. Like, that would have been cool. A lot of people joke about that, but I actually would have liked that if they included Nedry somehow, in some way, or mentioned him. Like, oh, he sabotaged the park. And, like, you know, he even has this moment, like, Dawson looks at the can, and he's like, it's almost like he's saying, it was all because of this. So, yeah, it's just, the music is just lacking the Jurassic feel. Again, this is a bit more Jurassic than the last one, but at the same time, it's still a big, dumb action movie. So, that I had issues with. Now, okay, so, some spoilers at this point on. Another big issue I have with this film, lack of explanation on certain things. So, like I said, the Barbasol can, how did Biosyn get it? How did Dachshund get it? How'd they get it? Can we explain this, please? Was this from the raid before they opened Jurassic World? Like, what happened there? Why does he keep it if it's not usable? Like, is it, like, what is the purpose? But I will say, it's not the only Easter egg, and some people have not pointed this out. There's a lot of Easter eggs in Grant's camp. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, I swear to God, looking at, like, as the camera was moving, I saw the fuel, the bottle that Grant had with what's his name, Eric, the kid from the third one, where he picks up that bottle and he's like, this is T-Rex pee? I swear to God it was the same bottle. But also, if you look in the way back corner, is the vocal chamber of the raptor from the third movie. Not many people notice that. It's just right there is the vocal chamber. And you know, if Grant was going to this facility full of dinosaurs, you think he would have brought that along. That would have actually been good to, in a way, like, imagine, like, if Owen and Grady, or Owen and Grant, they're talking about raptors, and Owen's trying to do the whole hand thing, but then here comes Grant going, like, he plays, like, the flute thing to try to communicate, and Grant's like, what the fuck, or, like, Owen's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? Like, that would have been cool if it was it would have been a cool callback, but it was nice to see it in the background that, Grant had saved it all this time. Lack of, Billy. I wish Billy was in this movie. It's funny because I wish some of the cast members of the third movie were in this. I wish William H. Macy and the kid who played Eric and Billy, they were all involved. Obviously, Taya Leone would not, but that would have been cool. Although it's funny, Julianne Moore did say if they made another one, she would come back, which I doubt it. This movie's getting panned. It'll probably tank soon. So there are some issues there. Like, again, Easter eggs all aside, but y'all want to know what I think about a certain big plot point of this movie, which involves Macy. So, like I said, and I've said this since my review, that they've been kind of hinting that Maisie might be part dinosaur. Because, like, oh, she was a human clone, and because, you know, the mom died in a car accident, the grandfather wanted her daughter back, and, you know, that's why Hammond and him fell apart, which makes no goddamn sense. It makes no sense. Why would he clone this girl in 1993, and then she stays that age till, like, 2018? That makes no sense. So they did fix that, and they gave me a very 50-50 of what I wanted. So what I wanted was Carnosaur levels of fuck-uppery. I wanted Full Metal Alchemist twist, but with a dinosaur instead of a dog. I'm sorry if I traumatized all you Full Metal Alchemist fans, but I brag about that so much just to bring out the tears in you. So, I wanted that. And I didn't get that. I wanted some weird fucked up shit. Because, you know, you're dealing with genetic science, you might as well go there in the final chapter. But they kind of did that in a very positive light. Where it turns out Lockwood's daughter actually did die, but not from a car accident. It was from a genetic disease that killed her after Maisie was born. But because basically what Maisie is basically a clone of the mother. It's weird. Basically, it's some weird Junior shit from, like, the movie Junior with Arnold where she impregnated herself. So she literally fucked herself and got herself knocked up. And, you know, the idea is that, like, she not only cloned herself inside herself as a human host, but also is subtly hinted that she used raptor DNA very slightly in Maisie to cure all human diseases. Now, most people would be like, that's stupid, that's dumb, why is she not mutating into some weird dino shit? Because, again, partial raptor DNA. And the reason I think they chose raptor was because Grant said in the third one, they're the most intelligent creatures on the planet, the most genetically intelligent creatures. So, genetic intelligence equals curing cancer, curing all human diseases. Wish I would cure... Hey, look, if there was a vaccine that could cure COVID and kill COVID instantly by just putting raptor DNA inside me, sign me up, Doc. I want to be part predator and be like, you know, I'd do that shit in a heartbeat. Call me Dino Man. That'd be a great comic book. So, basically, yeah, that's the twist, is that they kind of retcon some stuff, but it's used very appropriately. I will admit, it's a tad too Jesus-y at the very end, but it's okay. It's passable. But now they don't specifically say they input raptor DNA in Maisie. What Dr. Wu, played by B.D. Wong, which, by the way, poor B.D. Wong, they made his character just look so dumb. They made him look so stupid, because the rest of the movie, he's literally holding on to his bags and his research, and he's got this big look on his face like, duh, duh. Like, it's poor B.D. Wong. Dude, you were Shang in Mulan, for God's sakes. you could have done better with this character. I wish he would have died, actually. That would have been cool. So, by the way, big problem, none of the human main characters die. That would have, like, I would have liked to see either Malcolm, I would have liked to see Malcolm, and I would have liked to see Wu die. That's just me. So, basically, yeah, they just say, we want to research you, Maisie, and we want to research Beta to kind of get somewhere where we can cure shit. And, again, slightly hinted there's raptor DNA, and that's what I want to believe. That I did get what I wanted, but it was used where it was passable. And that's okay. So, yeah, that's the big twist. And, again, that is my only problem. They don't really explain it, like, completely, but it's enough where you can kind of use your brain and kind of fill in the genetic sequence gaps, I guess you could say. I guess that's what they're trying to go for. So, that happens. And then the last thing I will say is, yes, the dinosaurs are props. The dinosaur apocalypse is and moral of the lesson is, we open Pandora's box. Deal with it. Nothing's resolved. We're still dealing with a dinosaur epidemic where they're just running around doing their thing. We can't stop them. The genie is out of the bottle. You can't put it back. Sorry. You know, and I guess it's a moral way to kind of bring up the pandemic where, yeah, we have vaccines and stuff, but it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's just less of a problem. We can only make it less of a problem. People are still going to get sick, but the death rate is down, so there's no problem. I don't know how you're going to do that with dinosaurs, but, you know, deal with it. It's your franchise. I don't even know if they're going to make a part 7. I don't even know if I want them to. This might be it. Like, this might be it. I've heard they want to reboot it. Like, they want to just redo the first one, but give it the It treatment where they don't hold back and they have some balls to make it a hard R horror movie like the book. Because that is one thing I will say. Having read the book and watched the movie and then saw them back to back, I realized, as much as I love the first film, it's a watered-down version of the book, quite frankly. Like, it's very family-friendly in what's essentially an R-rated book. It's very much like the It TV movie, where the book is fucked up, but the TV movie is family-friendly and, you know, not too scary for the kids. And that's something I think since the first one they've just never been able to do, is just to bring back the scares. Lost World 3 and Fallen Kingdom did that slightly, but it wasn't enough to make me traumatized, to make me scared. So, there's that. So anyway, so the dinosaurs are props. They're not, the post-apocalypse that everybody wants is not the central of the story. The main plot involves locusts. And people have bitched about the locusts, and saying it overshadows the dinosaurs, it's all about locusts and all this stuff. I'm very hit or miss, because on the one hand, it's a dumb reason to make an excuse not to have a dinosaur apocalypse movie. I will admit, that is a problem I have. But people saying it oversaturates it, not really. It's not like the be-all, end-all. It's not like the worst thing. And on top of that, it's like, it's not always the center point. The dinosaurs are still around. It's just a side thing. It's okay. And I can kind of let it slide. It kind of reminds me of, like, Land Before Time 5, where it's just kind of like an inconvenience. And on top of that, like, people say, oh, that's why it's Exorcist 2 bad, because it involves locusts. No. You know, so it's not the central point. I will admit, though, one thing I do have an issue with is that all the characters treat these locusts like they're gonna kill them. They're not the beetles from the Mummy. They're not the weird plague bugs, you know? Like, look, I'll say this, the movie has a very Mummy vibe to it, where the comedy is kind of like the Mummy, it has that sort of adventurous feel, it feels like, almost like the Mummy Returns, in a way. But, with the locusts, they're just giant grasshoppers. I don't think grasshoppers, like, look, I understand wettas. New Zealand wettas, those things will bite you. Those things will bite you. That's what Jackson was hitting at in his Kong remake. But the whole locust thing, like, all the actors are like, oh god, they're gonna kill us. Oh, it's like, squish them, crush them. Why are you afraid of bugs? Why are you afraid of bugs? They're bugs. Squish them. Walk past them. Why are you tiptoeing through bugs? They're not gonna come up and go, no. Just walk. They're bugs. Why is that an issue? Why are you afraid of bugs? Why? What the fuck? They're not gonna kill you. They're not predatory. That's the part I actually have an issue with these locusts, is that they're not, people act like they're predators. They're not predators. They're protein. Have you seen Hidalgo? Freaking, I don't have a copy, but Viggo Mortensen just picks up locusts and says, yeah, I put a little spice on them, they ain't too bad. Like, they're protein! Eat them! Hell, you want a food shortage? Eat the locusts! They got all the protein. See, I'm so mad the sirens are going off. This movie's so dumb! Okay, so I kind of can, this movie's not good, but I can kind of pick it apart and enjoy a lot of it. I will admit the climax is very lackluster because it's only like a few seconds and it's trying to be the fourth one again. And the Giganotosaurus is really nothing. I will agree with RaisorBlade, which, oh god, he's gonna hate me for liking this. I will admit that, yes, the prologue needed to be at the start of this movie. Why it was cut, I have no idea. But in a way, it just, yeah. There is some stuff in here that could have been fixed up, that could have been better. But overall, guys, you're getting a long one on this one. Jurassic World Dominion is not it's not as good as the fourth one. It's not as good as the other sequels. But it's way better than Fallen Kingdom as just being a simple, fun movie. I would not see it on a nightly evening theater. I would see this as a matinee on a Tuesday when you can get $2 Tuesdays. If it even is now, it's probably $10 Tuesdays at this point. But see it as a matinee and just enjoy. Just enjoy a fun action movie. It's an action movie with dinosaurs in it. It's trying to be Fast and Furious. Yes, I know about the stupid idea for a crossover, which, okay, if Fast and Furious does something with dinosaurs, just don't make it Jurassic Park, is all I'll say. But, yeah, it's just a big, dumb cartoon, and I know that's not what people wanted. It's not the big finale we all wished for, but I've just come to just accept it. And that's been most of entertainment nowadays, is that I'm just sick of the bitching, I'm sick of the moaning, I'm sick of the anger, and I've just come to accept it. And look, I'm not submitting myself, I'm not being a sellout, I just don't want to hate anymore. And I think after Fallen Kingdom, I've just grown to just accept for what it is, and maybe someday somebody will do a better adaptation of the books. But it's okay. It's passable. It's a 6 out of 10. It's much like Fallen Kingdom and 3. It is one of the weaker sequels, but I would say it is above Fallen Kingdom, so it is the second worst. So it's not as good as 3, but it's better than Fallen Kingdom. If that's fair, that's fair. It's a 6 out of 10 movie. It'll sell popcorn. It'll be a fun little 2.5 hours of your time. It's okay. And I'm as shocked as you are. I was gonna really hate this. I was thinking, piece of shit, fuck this, and ruined it, god damn it. And I know it's not the anger induce you want, but I made it as energetic as possible for you guys. So let me know your thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion in the comments below. Yes, I will cover this next year as part of the Legacy reviews, because I do have a plan of where I want to do it. And then, depending on what they do with the franchise, this might be the last wave. So we're going to make this one count, folks. And maybe I can come up with a storyline that's better than this trilogy. So, again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please support us on Patreon. Just $1 more will get you access to all of our content as well as other special features. And check out my Batman 89 review. Worked really hard on it. Really right now in the middle of Batman Returns. But also, if you donate $5 a month on our Patreon, you can request me to review a movie just like in this format. And I can review whatever movie you want as long as it's something that I'm comfortable with. So, I had one Patreon request that I did last December and I regretted it. But I didn't mind this movie. So, yeah, there you go. There's my final thoughts, sort of my overall first impressions of Dominion. Hope you enjoyed it. I know you guys have pestered me to go see it because I'm a big Jurassic fan, but yeah, I'm as surprised as all of you probably are in my reaction. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it, I didn't hate it. So, until the next video, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off saying, it's a cartoon. It's a big cartoon. That's all I got. Way to end a franchise. Later, guys. Take it easy.